corporate governance.
The post-lunch session can be challenging, but we have a topic today that affects every organization, every leader, and ultimately every one of us. As they say, great organizations are not built merely on strategy and success, but on trust and integrity.
Let me ask you a simple question. What keeps a company truly strong during times of its uncertainty?
Is it financial strength, market leadership, innovation, or something even more fundamental?
All of those are important. The answer lies in a decision made behind the closed doors in the boardroom, where leaders shape the future of organizations. Because every major decision carries a responsibility. A responsibility not just to shareholders, but to employees, customers, society, and future generations.
Exactly. Even the strongest organization can struggle. After all, trust is the foundation upon which lasting success is built.
That reminds me of a famous quote by Warren Buffett. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it.
And in today's world, people don't just ask how much profit did the company need. They also ask how was the profit made.
That's a powerful shift. Success is no longer measured only in numbers. It's measured by responsibility, accountability, transparency, and ethical leadership.
So, what happens in the rooms where major corporate decisions are made?
How do leaders balance profit with principles?
And why are ethics and truth become more important than ever before?
Those are the questions that lead us to today's thought-provoking session.
A session that takes us into the heart of the organizational decision making
And challenges us to rethink how business should be governed in the modern world. Boardrooms, ethics and truth, rethinking corporate governance.
So, without any further ado, let's open the floor for our paper presenters who are all set to illuminate their theme with their perspectives and ideas.
To set the stage, we invite our first presenter, Tasneem Banu Nizar Ahmed, combining expertise in both finance and technology. Tasneem Banu is a CA finalist currently pursuing her third year of articleship at Vimala and Pankaj Salem. She holds a BCom degree from Akmal University through distance education and has further distinguished herself by successfully clearing the Certified Information System Auditor examination in 2024. Actively involved in student development initiatives, she served as the Salem Sikasa Study Circle Coordinator for 2024-25, contributing to academic and professional enrichment activities. Demonstrating strong communication and analytical skills, she was selected for the NTS Regional twice in the debate category. Her dedication to continuous learning and leadership reflects her commitment to excellence in profession. Let's warmly welcome Ms. Tasneem Banu Nizar Ahmed to share her insights.
Coming up next, we have someone who brings both passion and preparation to the stage. Ms. Srinidhi K. is an avid poet, having won inter-school poem competitions. Orientation at the Coimbatore branch piqued her public speaking interest. She has won extempore at the Coimbatore branch level NTS competitions in December 2024 and won debate at the Coimbatore branch level NTS competition held in May 2025. She has been MC in one mega conference and 2 national conferences consecutively. She is an MC at the Industrial Garage, an online student organization that holds meetings with the industry experts for the benefit of CA students. Join me in extending warm welcome to Ms. Srinidhi as we invite her to the stage.
Continuing, now we have our next presenter, Mr. Yoganarayanan, currently pursuing his articleship with N. Rajan and Associates, Tirupur. Yoganarayanan has successfully completed his Bachelor of Commerce degree and is presently pursuing an MBA. His academic journey has been marked by noteworthy achievements. He earned a merit award in regional level examination conducted by Erode Excel Patipatam. Showcasing his dedication and scholastic aptitude, beyond academics, he has displayed exceptional perseverance and linguistic proficiency by successfully completing all 9 levels of Hindi examinations conducted by Dakshina Bharat Hindi Pariksha Sabha, progressing from Pariksha to Praveen Uttara. Let's warmly welcome Mr. Yoganarayanan with an energetic round of applause.
Every meaningful discussion benefits from the guidance of an experienced leader. It is now my privilege to introduce the chairman for this session, CA MP Vijay Kumar sir. Sir is a distinguished chartered accountant, corporate leader and an eminent professional with over 3 decades of experience in industry, practice, financial reporting, accounting standard, corporate governance and capital markets.
CA MP Vijay Kumar sir has served as an executive director and Group Chief Financial Officer of CP Technologies as a partner at Yoganath and Ram LLP Chartered Accountants. Sir has also held key leadership positions in investment banking and company secretarial functions. Sir is a former council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the year 2016 to 22 and has contributed significantly as the chairman of the Accounting Standards Board, Valuation Standards Board and Digital Accounting and Assurance Board. Sir has also represented India in global accounting forums through his association with IFRS Interpretation Committee, IFRS Advisory Council and IFRS Implementation Initiatives.
Sir currently serves as an independent director on the boards of leading organizations including Mahindra & Mahindra Limited, Geojet Financial Services, Heritage Foods Limited, ONGC Petro Additions Limited and Wheels India Limited. A respected author and resource person, Sir has published several professional books on Ind AS, accounting standards, audit and assurance standards, financial reporting and corporate law, benefiting students and professionals. His contribution to the profession continues through his leadership, knowledge sharing and mentoring. With utmost respect, delight, we invite CAMP Vijay Kumar Sir to kindly grace the dais and add glory to the session with his distinguished presence.
We now request CA Vijay Kumar Sir to Vignesh Kumar Sir to kindly honor our esteemed session chairman, CAMP Vijay Kumar Sir, with a shawl as a token of our respect. Thank you, sir.
With profound respect, we now request CAMP Vijay Kumar Sir to kindly share few words and offer valuable notes to all paper presenters.
Good afternoon to all. So lunch was good, thank you. So extremely happy to be here at Salem again, and for me it's been quite some time since I had an opportunity to be part of a student conference like this. The last student interaction was I think a month back or so at Tirupur for a small group of students on accounting standards. And for me, who's been through my entire journey of life in the midst of students, seeing so many young minds here is very, very heartening. As far as the session topic is concerned, I want to first compliment whoever has chosen the topic because it's extremely relevant, and for students who are pursuing articleship, whether you are doing a public limited company audit or a private limited company audit or a listed company, I'm sure every student sitting here in the hall has exposure to audit of some joint stock company, irrespective of the size. I'm sure all of you have exposure to audit of a company, and for each of you, these three topics which have been chosen for this session are so very relevant that each of you will find your time worth the investment which you are doing. I have had the opportunity of going through all the presentations today morning. In fact, today morning I sat down to write down what should I speak. Somehow I thought, let me understand what the students are speaking before I decide what I should speak. So I requested Gauri to share a copy of the presentations of all the three children, and I should say I was pleasantly surprised. I should say that I was shocked because I know the current generation of students, their ability to research, their ability to articulate is so good. It's so good that I was not very shocked that it was such a good one, but I was very happy about the quality of content and their ability to package it within the time which is available to them. So you have a excellent delivery coming ahead for you, and I do not believe in sharing my thoughts initially because it will be unfair for the three children. They have done so much of preparation, student conference, it is students event, and it's important that they should speak, you should listen, and in case they leave anything for me to speak, I'll speak on that. But looking at the presentation they have done, looks like they haven't left anything for me. So with that initial opening remarks, I'll invite to begin with Tasneem to come and speak on the topic of role of independent directors, balancing risk and reward. And Tasleen, I just heard when they were introducing you that you also passed the CISA exam. Compliments to you. In fact, Arun and I were chatting when we were students. We were not even aware that there is a global examination like this. Extremely happy about the awareness all of you have. In fact, I choose to call it out. In fact, I choose to call it out because many of the students here may not be aware that there's a global information systems audit course like this. And it is something which you can pursue along with your CA, subject to the institute rules of one course. And in this era of information technology, AI, cyber security, all of that stuff, a course like this adds so much value to your profile. And more importantly, these are courses which normally can be done only by somebody who has 7 to 10 years of experience on information technology. It's not a course which is very easy to do. And so when her profile was read, I was actually a little taken aback. Somebody at a student level pursuing that course and passing the exam, So very credible one. So hearty congratulations to you. And I'm sure it will inspire many children to know about this course and pursue as well. So best wishes to you for the topic. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. The first question people ask is not just where was the CEO, but also where was the board of directors. At the heart of this question lies the importance of the role of an independent director, the individual responsible for asking questions to the management, ensuring ethical governance and protecting trust of stakeholders. They are often seen as guardians of corporate accountability. But as we all know, risk and rewards go together. With greater influence comes greater responsibility. Independent directors enjoy the opportunity to influence and shape the governance of the company. At the same time, they also face ethical, reputational, and legal risks. This takes me back to this timeless wisdom from Thiruvalluvar, "Azhivadum aavadum aadi vazhippaykum oodiyamum thookkich seyal," which says one must, before doing something, consider the possible losses, future outcomes and the gains. Good afternoon everyone, this is Tasneem Banu Nizar Ahmed, and today I'll be discussing the role of an independent director and explore the delicate balance between their risks and rewards. First of all, let us try to understand who an independent auditor is. An independent auditor is that member of the board who has no material relationship with the company other than his directorship itself. Because he is independent from the controlling stakeholders and the management, he is expected to give unbiased judgment, unbiased opinion. But being independent is not just about being an outsider. It refers to having the courage to ask questions like, have we considered the downside, when everyone in the room says this looks like a great opportunity. Independent directors participate in high-level strategic planning, risk management, and they are responsible for protecting the interest of stakeholders, especially minority stakeholders. They are often seen as the conscience of the boardroom. Another important responsibility of independent auditors is, independent director is, and sorry I have kept on telling independent auditor, it is independent director. Another major responsibility of independent director is corporate accountability. In the early 2000s, the downfall of companies like Enron demonstrated what could happen when independent directors failed to exercise effective oversight. Enron mainly failed due to accounting fraud, unethical management practices, and weak corporate governance. Independent directors were not the direct cause for their downfall, but their failure to exercise effective oversight contributed to governance breakdown, which allowed the fraud to continue. Let us move forward to rewards of being an independent director. First comes comes the opportunity to shape and influence the governance. Independent directors offer perspectives that are usually management teams lack. Because they are not involved in daily operations of the business, they see risks and opportunities from a broader viewpoint. For example, during the period of digital transformation, many companies were benefited from directors with digital expertise guiding the entire board through cybersecurity risks and digital innovation strategies. Their insights often help in shaping the future of the entire organization. Next comes the point of professional growth. Board service serves as an exceptional learning opportunity. Independent directors get exposed to high-level strategic decisions, risk management, and governance challenges. Many executives consider board experience as a master class in leadership, as it provides insights that are usually not gained through operational roles alone. This greatly enhances their decision-making skills and professional perspectives. Next comes the point of opportunity to develop meaningful and powerful network. Board usually consists of individuals and leaders from different industries and backgrounds. Working closely with such individuals provide opportunities for collaboration, mentorship, and knowledge sharing. Board appointment also enhances professional credibility. Serving as a board director signals expertise, leadership capability, and trustworthiness. For many executives, board service serves as an important step in their career diversification and long-term professional development. Of course, with these rewards, there are some risks that cannot be ignored. First comes legal liability. Independent directors have fiduciary responsibility towards the company and its stakeholders. This means they cannot simply rely on the information that is presented before them. They must exercise informed judgment and involve themselves actively with the issues presented. Next, reputational damage. A professional reputation may take years to build but can be harmed very quickly. In many of the cases, independent directors face reputational challenges even after discharging their duties responsibly because of their association with the organization. This makes due diligence before accepting a board appointment extremely important. Time commitment. Many underestimate the amount of time required to discharge board duties effectively. Independent directors spend a substantial amount of time reviewing reports, attending meetings, and preparing for crucial decisions. During crises like regulatory investigation, their workload can significantly increase. Next, limited individual control. Board decisions are collectively made. Independent directors work under a consensus-driven environment where the outcomes or decisions are collectively made. That is, they depend on the competence and effectiveness of the board as a whole. As a result, independent directors face consequences of decisions that over which they have very limited influence or control. One of the fascinating aspects about the role is balancing between their risks and rewards. Independent directors are expected to establish a productive relationship with the management while maintaining sufficient distance from them to provide objective oversight. Too much closeness affects independence, and too much confrontation undermines collaboration. An effective director strikes the balance. He knows where to stand firm and acts diplomatic wherever possible. He challenges the ideas without challenging the people, and he raises questions while maintaining professionalism and trust. Moving forward, the role of independent directors continues to evolve. Today, stakeholders are expecting independent directors to look after areas which were once considered to be out of traditional governance structure, like environmental environmental sustainability, social responsibility, cyber security, data privacy, and artificial intelligence. As a result, independent directors must be lifelong learners, continuously updating their knowledge and perspectives. To conclude, being an independent director is both a privilege and a responsibility. They stand where risks and rewards intersect, guiding the entire organization towards growth, while maintaining and safeguarding integrity and accountability. In today's world, where businesses are facing complex challenges, the need for honest, courageous, and truly independent directors has never been greater. After all, effective governance is not just about preventing from failures, but also asking the right questions before the failure becomes inevitable. Thank you.
Excellent, Tasneem. In fact, I have been an independent director since 2011. We were to take the collective experience of various boards I've been there, maybe it would be 60 years plus inside various boards. As you were actually going through the slides, I was trying to connect with my behavior in the board meetings and all, and I could resonate so well. Thank you for bringing it so much in front of all the children here. Excellent work done. Thank you, Tasneem. For the first time, I was hearing these credentials, and I realized how valuable they are. I don't know how many of you can tell me what it is. There was a particular credential which was highlighted when she was being introduced. Can someone recollect and tell me what it is? For me, it was pretty unique. I heard it for the first time, but I realized that it was a very good credential. Anyone? Pardon? Poet, okay. Okay, in interest of time. In fact, the credentials, you were able to recollect? No. Okay, yeah, correct. So the credential said she's been an MC for the Master of Ceremonies for National Conference, this conference, etc. and all. And more often than not, Master of Ceremonies are there, the two bright children there and get the guidance of Vinayak there and all. So that's a function which we listen, we enjoy their voice, we enjoy their preparation of whatever adjectives they write, the way they summarize and all. But beyond that, you don't actually have seen that as you recognize speakers, you recognize panelists, you recognize others, but Master of Ceremonies as an art. I was very happy that was seen as a very good credential. In fact, now I'm able to recollect in all the functions I've been there. I was just trying to recollect who are the MCs, how they have done and all. Some of them have been exceptional actually. So I'm sure she is of that caliber and quality. So thank you, Srinidhi, and best wishes to you for your session of ESG reporting. Over to you.
Good evening to all the dignitaries, delegates and everyone present here. I am Srinidhi Krishnamurthy from Coimbatore to share my thoughts on ESG reporting. Is it a genuine compliance or greenwashing? In a world where circumventing laws to make profit is considered as business prudence, there lived a man who lived by the ESG norms way before it was actually even introduced. Hard to believe, is it not? Over 2 decades ago, on 26/11/2008, the famous Taj Hotel was attacked by the terrorists. The whole nation was glued to the TV channel to know the reaction of the then chairman of the Tata Group, Shri Ratan Tata. In his first address to the nation, Mr. Ratan Tata announced that every single employee who was affected by the terror attacks will be taken care of by the Tata Group along with the education of their children. Not only stopping there, he also said that all the street vendors, railway employees, even the bystanders who were affected by the terror attack will be financially aided by the Tata Group. If this isn't an epitome of leadership and empathy, what else is? Well, this is also a very classic example of the social and governance aspect of ESG reporting. While caring for his employees and prioritizing them says about the social aspect, it is the leadership and empathy, the decision taken from a value point of view, that is the governance in ESG reporting. The E in ESG stands for the environment. It is about using the limited resources of earth like water in a very optimal manner. Okay, now that we know about ESG, we have CSR, Section 135 of Companies Act. We already have CSR. Why do we need ESG? Companies earn profit. A percentage of the profit is taken, and in terms of CSR is about giving back to the society in terms of providing free education and other activities. Whereas ESG is about introducing sustainable practices in the process of the business and helping the companies to grow in a sustainable and transparent manner, also with responsibility. That is the difference between ESG and CSR, and that is why ESG is budding up at this point of time. Coming to the compliance part, for ESG framework, these are the global standards. The GRI standards, SASB standards, TCFD guidelines give you a framework to report ESG. In India, we have SEBI, which is the regulator for ESG governance, and SEBI has given BRSR, Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting, BRSR framework. Broadly, this compliance is of two types. One, it is mandatory, another, it is voluntary. SEBI has made BRSR mandatory for the top 1,000 listed companies from financial year 2021-22. Over 140 metrics of ESG is concised to 9 core principles along with NGRBC, and that should be reported in the BRSR report by the top 1,000 listed companies. Why would companies even take it to do voluntarily? It is an extra burden, isn't it? Not really. Companies have a good reason to voluntarily take up BRSR. There are numerous benefits to business responsibility and sustainability reporting or ESG reports globally. The main benefit being investors, particularly foreign and institutional investors, look to invest in companies which have taken up ESG reports and environment, social and governance concerns into their long-term growth and value creation. It is not just the capitalistic profit, it is also the care about the environment that investors are concentrating on. That is why, in order to attract global investors, ESG reporting is taken voluntarily. This is a graph which shows that in the financial year 2021, that is before SEBI introduced it, in the financial year 2020-21, the yellow represents the voluntary compliance and the green represents the mandatory compliance after SEBI made it mandatory in the financial year 2021-22. There is a stark 29% difference between both, and the disclosures have increased after it was made mandatory. Now, what happens if a company wrongly reports in its BRSR or any ESG reporting? A survey by KPMG UK has said that over 54% of the consumers will boycott the product or the brand and switch to other brands if greenwashing is found in the reports. That makes us question, what is greenwashing? Well, greenwashing is about a company painting itself or claiming itself to be sustainable, marketing itself to be a sustainable company. Rather, in reality, the sustainable practices in the business processes is not implemented. There is no change in the business processes, but a company calls itself calls itself sustainable. There are various ways for greenwashing. I can claim that, I can vaguely, unsubstantiatedly claim that I am an organic company. I can also give you misleading imagery. I can give you certifications which are baseless. I can selectively report you. These are these are ways to manipulate the ESG reporting, and that is greenwashing. To give you one example of sustainability reporting's greenwashing, imagine an FMCG company, a bread making company. That company has introduced 1,000 solar panels on the rooftop. That is a very good thing. It is a sustainable activity taken up by the company. But the company also uses a lot of preservatives in order to improve the shelf life of the bread. Now that is selectively reporting, that is misleading imagery to the users of the BRSR reporting or the ESG reports. And that is also a classic example of greenwashing. Looking beyond the surface, let me take you to two different reports of ESG. One is of H&M and another one is of Reliance Industries Limited. H&M is a global conglomerate, but in India it is not a top 1,000 listed entity. It is only mandated in Sweden to give an ESG report. H&M also follows GRI standards. So in India, H&M is a voluntary compliance, whereas Reliance Industries Limited is one of the top 1,000 listed entities. As we all know, it is mandated by SEBI in order to produce BRSR report. The next few slides will be H&M's ESG report. This is the first slide. Taking a closer look onto it, it claims that it is a leader in terms of sustainability. It celebrates 10-year anniversary promoting the labor rights. It also says it's number one. Very beautifully and numerically represented in its ESG report is the metrics which is given in terms of numbers. Now we are CS students and we love to know metrics in terms of numbers. I'd like to highlight one point in this. 91% recycled or sustainably sourced materials is used in their products, and 32% of recycled materials is used in their products. Now the point is, who verified that the source or the recycled products are actually coming or from the source of what is the source of the sustainable materials which is used in their commercial products. Okay. H&M also has its ESG report in a manner that it makes you feel like it's a brochure for H&M products rather than a ESG report. Moving ahead, we have Reliance Industries Limited's BRSR report. Now, this is the first page of Reliance Industries Limited's ESG BRSR report. It also includes a hyperlink for its corporate social responsibility activities. It explains each and every 9 core principles to make it easy for the users of the ESG report. I've taken one small portion from the report. This is the water consumption of Reliance Industries Limited. Look at the chart which says the source of water used by Reliance Industries Limited. There is also a graph which explains the comparative water used by it in the previous year and the reduction in the usage of water resources. Now that you've taken a closer look at both the reports, which one do you think is more reliable? Is it H&M or Reliance Industries Limited? Reliance, okay. Giving you a comparative analysis, both the reports contain risk of greenwashing. Okay, one is a fossil fuel company and another one is a fast fashion company which makes a lot of trendy clothing. Now there is a risk of greenwashing in both the reports. But as someone rightly said, Reliance Industries Limited report is a little credible compared to H&M. Why is it? Coming back to this water source of Reliance Industries Limited, it is not the picture, it is not the chart which says the source of water, it is not even the comparison, it is this boring statement that you cannot even read. Indicate if the independent assessment, evaluation or assurance is provided by an independent third party, which makes a huge difference. It has also included an independent assurance statement in its BRSR report. That makes Reliance Industries Limited's BRSR report a little more credible, which now brings us to CA in ESG, assurance in the sustainability reporting. Well, all of us audit financial statements. The same manner how we collect data, audit the financial statements, we also audit BRSR ESG reports. The signature of a chartered accountant, which was used to stabilize the economy all these days, will also be now used to promote businesses and give credibility to their reports, claiming them to be a sustainable company. Let me tell you, just like in audit, how we give only reasonable assurance, even in BRSR ESG reports, we only give reasonable assurance. But that reasonable assurance increases the credibility of the BRSR reports given by the company. We live in India where we have a concept called Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, which means the whole world is one family. We worship elements of nature in our society. That being said, I'd also like to tell you that we as chartered accountants have a role in improving the sustainability. Let us remove the capitalistic lens and look at the world for what it is and make it a better place to live in. Also, we get paid for doing so. Thank you so much, Salem, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. These are QR codes. If you scan them, it will directly download the reports of H&M and Reliance Industries Limited. Please go through both the reports and feel free to discuss with me if you have anything to discuss. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Srinidhi, that was spectacular. Thank you. I just have two small questions for all of you. How many, all of you are, come, sit. So all of you are doing your articleship now, I suppose. Huh? Or completed articleship? Yes, no? All of you are doing articleship, okay? And either first year, second year. And all of you have aspiration to be corporate leaders, business leaders, or maybe if you choose to be in practice, excel in the practice which you choose. Answer me two simple questions. How many of you have read a listed company annual report? One boy, two, 1.5 boy or two boy? Two boy. Okay, 3 boy. 4 boy, 4.5 boy, or 4.25 boy. Okay, 4.5 boy, okay. No girls. Actually, everywhere I go, actually it's the ulta. Even if you look at the institute student results, no, it's actually more of girls or boys. Okay, second, how many of you were aware about BRSR before this session? Hey, dikhai douda. Okay. Now, rest of you haven't heard. Okay. And it's the most happening one. I have just a very simple suggestion to all of you. And suggestion because I care for your success in your career. Over the next 1 week, I'm giving you 1 week, ideally by tomorrow. 1 week, ideally by tomorrow. You should take some time, download at least 2 or 3 annual reports, go through the contents of annual report including director's report, corporate governance report, BRSR, all of it you should go through. 2 years from now when you go for interview, you can't start preparing for the interview questions then. Knowledge is something which you accumulate over a period of time. The interviewer will easily ascertain whether what you have is knowledge or what is it that you have prepared just for the sake of interview. That distinction will be very easily visible. I would strongly encourage all of you that you should download 2-3 annual reports, different industries. It won't take more than 10 minutes each for the bright minds all of you are. Just get a sense of the contents of that annual report. What is it? How is it written? How each one is writing differently. Because for the profession all of you are practicing, that annual report is a finished product. For a chartered accountant, annual report is a finished product. You may be a CFO, you may be a director, you may be a practicing chartered accountant. It's a finished product. If you are going to be a credit analyst, research analyst, equity investor, then annual report becomes your input. It becomes your source document. So annual report either is your finished product or it's a source document for all of the work which you do. And this product, you have to master it. And mastery is to be done at a young age. The younger the age you pick up these things, they'll stand by you strongly in times to come. So I'd encourage you to do that. And how many of you will do it in the next 1 week? Lie. Can I believe this? All of you will do it in 1 week. You want me to believe this? Loud. Yes, sir. You want me to believe it? Yes, sir. Okay. I'll tell you something. I don't know how many of you might be aware. Like Vignesh and all, I've been a teacher for 20 years. How many years? Loudly, guys. 20 years. And classroom teaching, or in a normal, it is classroom of this size, including the top. So 1500 students in a single classroom early morning. And these students, I'll tell you experience. Everybody has that intent to do. Everybody has that intent. So out of all the people who have intent, the number of people who will actually attempt to do is about 80%. The number of students who will actually pursue it to some extent, out of that 80, the number of people who will pursue is about 60%. So we are already 80, 60, which means how much? 48% of the population. And out of that, the number of students who will actually pursue it to the logical extent is 20%. And that 20% is the pass percentage of the institute. And for all of you who are here, if you can prove me wrong, I'll drive down here again. I'll request Gauri to organize a similar event. And at my expense and effort, I'll ensure that all of you are recognized. Accepted? Yes, sir. Signed? Sealed? Yes, sir. What is the last word? Signed, sealed, last word? Delivered. Huh? Signed, sealed, delivered. So what is the commitment all of us have agreed? What is it that we have agreed? Within 1 week from when? Because tomorrow you will all come back and tell, you said 1 week, but from when you didn't tell me. So within 1 week from now, all of you will. Tell, all of you will. Download at least 3 okay, 2. Negotiated number is 2. At least 2 annual reports and you go through it. Okay? It's an agreed commitment? Yes, sir. Huh? Agreed? Yes, sir. All of you? Yes, sir. Can I believe you? Yes, sir. Mother promise? Yes, sir. Hey, Mother? Yes, sir. Okay, good. So thank you all, and let me now invite Yoganarek to speak on the third topic with the permission of the other two children. This is a topic which is a very involved topic, extremely important, and it's a topic which is not easy to explain within the time which is available. And this particular topic is the most happening topic across the world, not just in India, across the world. It's the most happening topic, and over the next few years, you will see this topic being a very highly practiced topic, discussed topic, and there will be lots of people within the industry and in the practitioner community who will actually be engaged on this topic. So I would recommend, the slides have come out extremely well. I sincerely wish he also delivers exactly the same thing. Happy to note he's a business school product also, he's an MBA, so I have confidence that he will deliver well. My only request to all of you, have an undivided attention, because the same topic to learn is minimum 20 days. Somebody is going to present to you in 20 minutes. So get the benefit of that. Over to you, Narek. Best wishes.
Honorable Chairperson, respected members, and my dear lovable friends. A very happy morning to one and all present here. I am Yoganarayanan. I am an article assistant at N. Rajan and Associates Turpur. My today's topic is From Pollution to Profit, the business of carbon credit. We spend our entire life converting everything into debits and credits. Every money earned, every money spent, neatly classified in our books of accounts. Now, here is the twist. Nobody saw coming. That is, the planet wants in that ledger too. Today, environmentally responsible is no longer a feel-good system. It has become a measurable, tradable, and taxable economic asset. And that asset is called a carbon credit. Before I explain you what a carbon credit is, I want you to look at this image. Here, this image shows a man is trying to climb the ladder. The ladder represents our path to future growth and direction. And the fire symbolizes our dependence on fossil fuels, excessive consumption, industrial pollution, etc. And those missing ranks represents the economic degradation caused by us, then the rising temperatures, rising scarcity, etc. And very importantly, that man represents our future generations. Yes, by continuing unsustainable practices, we are degrading their path to stable and prosperous future. In simple words, while we creating wealth today, we must ensure that we are not degrading their foundation for tomorrow. That is exactly why carbon credits and carbon markets have become important. Climate change is becoming one of the severe challenges facing the world today. Industries, vehicles, and power plants and other human activities releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Of those gases, the very important is carbon dioxide. When too much of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere, the resulting carbon reduction is traps heat in the atmosphere and contribute to global warming. To reduce emissions and to encourage sustainable practices, the concept of carbon credit was introduced. So from where did we get here? The journey begins with the Kyoto Protocol in 1997. The countries came together and signed an international binding agreement on emission reduction targets and introducing the clean development mechanism. Then the Paris Agreement came in 2015. It has shifted the focus entirely towards nationally determined contributions. India ratified this agreement in 2016. While this was the situation at international level, in India, way back in 2008, government launched the Perform, Achieve and Trade scheme. What this scheme will do? It will identify the large energy-intensive industries and call them as designated consumers. They told those companies to produce their final output energy efficiently. If they produce their final output efficiently, they will earn the energy saving certificate and they can sell those in the market. then who will purchase them? There may be some companies which may fail to meet the targets. Those companies will purchase these energy saving certificates. When this is the situation until financial year 23-24, then the new carbon credit trading scheme came into picture. You may raise a question. When already there is a PAT scheme, then what is the need for new CCTS scheme? To explain this, I will bring back you to 2017. When GST was implemented from 2017, it has subsumed the 6 old indirect taxes and it has its own merits. The CCTS has done exactly the same in case of carbon market. It has subsumed the old PAT scheme, the old renewable energy certificate scheme, and introduced incentives for carbon capture technologies. The key distinction between PAT scheme and CCTS scheme is, in PAT scheme, the renewable energy certificate scheme, those were 2 separate schemes. But under CCTS, they were the subset of carbon credit trading scheme. It is the right time to understand what the carbon credit is. A carbon credit is 1 ton of carbon dioxide equivalent either not emitted or removed from the atmosphere. For example, whenever a wind plant replaces a coal power or forest absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, the resulting carbon reduction can be measured, certified, and sold in the market. To understand emissions better, let us understand its classifications. These are classified into Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions. Scope 1 emissions are direct emissions which cause from sources owned or controlled by the company. For example, fuel burned in company vehicles, employee commutation, etc. Then the Scope 2 emissions. These are the indirect emissions which came from purchasing the energy. Even though the company is not generating electricity itself, it is responsible for the emissions associated with the energy it consumes. Then the Scope 3 emissions. These are all other indirect emissions which cause during their value chain. Let us understand the foundation for carbon market. The system is called cap and trade scheme. The regulator will set the maximum emission limit, which is known as cap. The companies which emit less than the limit can have surplus credits and they can sell those in the market. There may be some companies which emit above the given limit have to purchase those carbon credits from the market. Here, the capital moves from polluters to clean producers. Let me make you carbon credit mechanism simple. Here the matter is, for producing 1 ton of its final output, how much of carbon dioxide it emits. This will be monitored by the government. In our example, the government says, for producing 1 ton of its final output, it can maximum emit 0.6 ton of carbon dioxide only. But what actually happens? It has emitted 0.52 ton of carbon dioxide, which is less than the set limit, so they can sell those surplus credits in the market. The carbon credits can be purchased from 2 sources. In the left panel, the high emission industry is purchasing the credits from its fellow industry, which emitted less than the set limit. In the right panel, it shows the high emission industry is purchasing the credits from the clean producers. Who are those clean producers? These are the wind farms, solar panels, etc. Let us dive into the concept of regulated market and voluntary market. Starting with the regulated market. Here, the participation is mandatory. There were 490 entities which were notified as obligated entities by the Government of India. These only will fall under the regulatory market, otherwise known as compliance mechanism. If we talk on the voluntary market, participation here is not mandatory, but investors, customers, global stakeholders will see companies to demonstrate their climate responsibility. So companies will voluntarily purchase carbon credits. These are some sample obligated entities out of those 490 entities listed by Government of India, which are in and around us. For example, India Cements Limited in Salem, Chemplat Sandmer Limited in MAGUDAM, etc. The price of carbon credit ranges between rupees 600 to rupees 900. The receipts from the sale of carbon market is taxed at a flat rate of 10% under section 194, serial number 3 of the Income Tax Act 2025. There were 2 approaches from which we can can generate carbon credits. The first one is carbon avoidance, which prevents future emissions from occurring. For example, if you install the windmill, the energy which would have been produced by the fossil fuel is avoided. The second one is carbon reduction approach. Here, the carbon reduction approach, the system will remove the existing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So the value of carbon credits, which is derived from carbon reduction approach, will be more than the credits obtained from carbon avoidance approach. These are the example of direct air capture, which is coming under the carbon reduction method, which absorbs the carbon dioxide at a 90% capture rate. The right panel is the example of carbon sequestration, where the afforestation method will be used to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Yes, India has launched its own Indian carbon market portal at 21st of March 2026 at the very prestigious event, which is the Prakriti 2026, which is a second international conference on carbon market. It is the single interface for registration of entities, for monitoring, reviewing, verification, and for credit issuance. The carbon credits cannot be self-declared. It must be verified by independent agencies. In India, verification can be done by accredited carbon verification agencies, also known as ACVAs. For example, Bureau Veritas India, BKU certification, etc. There are two ways in which the company can offset their emissions. The first one is directly purchasing carbon credits from the market. Then the next one is developing an approved project so they can offset their emissions. If you develop a project, you have to follow these procedures. First, you have to develop a project, then you have to register it with the BEE, which is the authority, central authority. The full form of BEE is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Then the verification will be done by the independent authority. Then on approval, the credits will be transferred to GCI registry. The business opportunities in carbon economy. The first opportunity is digital platforms. Now, today, the technological companies are building the carbon strategies, verification platforms, trading exchanges, etc. Think of it like a stock exchange, but for the carbon market. Then the second opportunity is the project creation. If you develop a carbon sink project, which, for example, restores the mangrove forest, planting trees in degraded land, building a wetland, etc., it will generate the carbon credits. The third opportunity is the carbon banked debt instruments. Today, the carbon credits are used as underlying assets to issue debt instruments. These are some case studies to understand carbon credits better. By looking at the names Microsoft and Infosys, you may wonder how technological companies even emit greenhouse gases. By looking at the names Microsoft, Infosys, CB Technologies, etc., this will fall under the scope 2 emissions, which are indirect emissions, by purchasing the electricity. The Microsoft is aimed to become carbon negative by 2030. That is carbon negative, which will either purchase credits or develop a project in and above their emission limits. Then the Infosys, it is becoming one of the leading carbon neutral technology companies. Mahindra System has successfully integrated its carbon finance into renewable energy projects. Then the role of chartered accountants. The chartered accountant will measure how much carbon the company emits and put a fair value on those carbon credits, and they will guide the company on how to reduce their carbon footprint. They also help us in arranging green finance for clean energy projects, and they will finally report to the public transparently so they can trust the numbers. Being opportunities there, several challenges remain. The prices can be volatile, verification can be complex, credit quality must be maintained, the regulator may continue to evolve. So these challenges require strong governance and transparency. As rightly said by C.A.G. Ramaswamy sir yesterday, the artificial intelligence will provide the opportunity but not the threat. Yes, the future will be driven by technology. IoT devices will collect real-time emission data. The artificial intelligence will improve accuracy and anomaly detection. The blockchain technology will prevent double counting. To conclude, gone are the days when government was invisible on the balance sheet. Opportunity belongs to those who act early, act credibly, and act with integrity. That is a key takeaway for you. If any individual is installing the solar power grid system at the rooftop of your house, there is a direct subsidy from the central government. If they install 1 kilowatt system, there is a subsidy of rupees 30,000. If they install 2 kilowatt system or more, there is a subsidy of rupees 60,000. If you install rupees 3 kilowatt system or more, you will get a subsidy of rupees 78,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Yoga. That was a wonderful presentation. In fact, I know the topic would have been a little heavy for many of you, but given the fact that we are all people on the ground, the topic is extremely important one. I would encourage each of you to access a copy of this presentation, because I know this slide deck is minimum 2,000 pages of reading, and it's all captured so well, succinctly and easy to understand form. Do not miss the opportunity of learning the most happening topic, most relevant topic. Stay aware, get an access to a copy of this presentation, and ensure that you have an understanding of the same. So thank you, Yoga, for that wonderful work you have done. What I liked is such a heavy topic. To put all of these together within that deck is a big challenge for somebody who does not have so much of practical experience. As a student, to put it together is unfathomable in my view, and has done a wonderful job. Thank you, Yoga, for doing that. And my thanks to all the children for the work they have done. I'll just share some concluding remarks before we move on to the next session. So on all the three topics which we had today, all of them come around corporate governance, board effectiveness, independent directors, ESG, and carbon credit. There are a couple of points which I'd like to leave it as pointers for you to understand these key themes before I share some three observations to you. Between Srinidhi and Yoga, the couple of very important terms which should hit you, which you should register and take it as key takeaways from this session. One is what we call as 3 R's. 3 R's in the context of environment. Anyone? Reduce, reuse, recycle. This reduce, reuse, recycle is actually part of Indian families' living ethos, at least between the time I grew up and currently my children. There are areas where it's got better, there are areas which is deteriorated. But what is important is for all of us collectively, if we have to leave a better world than what we inherited. And I can tell you, my generation, my personal view, happy to be beaten to death. I am repeating, happy to be beaten to death. We are not leaving a better world than what we inherited. We inherited a far exciting world, healthier world, great environment, great climate, great ecosystem. Is my generation leaving that to you and the next? Answer is no, and ready to be beaten to death. But you have to learn from mistakes of a generation and ensure that it is not repeated. It's imperative for all of you to leave a better generation than what you have inherited. So as part of your daily life cycle, it's very important that you practice reduce, reuse, recycle. In fact, every element of what you do, everything, if you look at everyday commute, what you do at home, what you do at office, if you introspect, there's always an opportunity of reducing, reusing, and recycling. I'll just give a very simple example. Take the extent of social media which all of us use. If you look at the consumption, it consumes electricity, it consumes data center capacity, and when data centers operate, there's again a fresh consumption of electricity, water, and all the electronics. Recycling has its own challenges on environment. So question is, how do I responsibly consume these good things? So reduce by avoiding unnecessary consumption. Reduce unnecessary consumption. That's a contribution you will make. That's a contribution you will make. Reusing. How much you can reuse. Right from paper, how much you can reuse. All of it at home. Recycling. If you look at food, how do we avoid wastage? Food left, how do I store it? Consume in some form, doesn't become wastage. All of these, you need to make it part of your day-to-day life if you want to have a situation where you don't carry the guilt which at least my generation carries. Rest of my generation can have a different view, but I am super clear. We have consumed environment like nobody's business. Second important thing all of you should know, and particularly as accounting professionals, all of us have P&L, net profit, all that. But in today's world, when investors look at equity investment, when responsible investors invest, we have what is called principles of responsible investing. You can Google it later. PRA it's called. Principles of responsible investing. So these principles of responsible investing require corporates to look at what is called triple bottom line. Triple bottom line. How many of you can respond to me on what those three are? Triple bottom line. Yeah, go ahead. Planet, profit. I'll give you a hint. People. So all the organizations are today measured on triple bottom line, and triple bottom line means, guys, you have to answer. If you answer, you'll remember it forever. Triple bottom line. People, planet, profits. So when investments are done, people don't invest based on how much profit you have generated. The investments are weighted and chosen based on what that entity is contributing to the people, how it's impacting the planet, and third comes profit. Only those organizations which follow this principle get what we call as a premium on their stock valuation, etc., etc. That's the second term I would like to leave to you. The first one was 3 R's. The second is bottom line. The third one you should know, relevant to the session, particularly what Srinidhi and Yoga spoke, is CABM or CBAM, sorry, CBAM. How many of you? CBAM. Anyone? You want to go short? Carbon border adjustment mechanism. Repeat. Border adjustment mechanism. This is a levy which Europe has introduced effective from January 26, where any goods which go from any part of the world into Europe, the goods are verified with reference to how much is the carbon content. I don't know if you saw registered in Yoga's presentation, how much was the carbon dioxide element which was there, target, actual and all. So when steel is exported from Salem steel plant reaches Europe, they measure how much is the carbon dioxide content in that particular steel. If that content is higher than the norm, you are required to pay an extra tax, which means your product becomes uncompetitive. So in today's world, almost all the industries with which you are going to be engaged with tomorrow, working for it, analyzing and lending or investing or auditing, all of them will be subject to this carbon border adjustment mechanism. These are three terms I thought I should call out specifically for all of you to take away from the session, which is covered commonly by these two. Now let me talk about 3 points which I'd like to leave as takeaways relating to the overall theme of the session. First and foremost was Tasneem's session relating to independent directors. And as far as independence is concerned, the entire profession of chartered accountancy, the entire curriculum and the training mechanism is only to ensure that you are independent. Independent is all about the state of mind, not being financially independent. And as far as independence is concerned, as you keep growing in your career, that will be tested so very frequently. How independent you are is going to be tested so very frequently. Early part of your career, you can network yourself and move, but as you go up your career, particularly through credible organizations, you will be measured essentially on how independent you are. And independence is not an attribute or a character which you can suddenly plant inside you at the age of 30 or 40 or 50, whatever age. You can't bring that independence. It's a trait with which you get trained and you grow over a period of time. Somebody can never become, I was not independent till yesterday. You can't wake up today morning and say from today I'll be independent. It's just not going to happen. So independence, my own experience, it comes from 3 C's. First is competence. The more competent you are, the more independence you gain. People who compromise independence are those who are less competent. If you are super competent, there is no reason for you to compromise your self-esteem, self-respect, your independence. So competence in the areas of your choice is a first very important element. The second element which will be required is, I think it was shown as part of Tasneem's presentation, is collaboration. Independence does not mean conflict. Independence does not mean I disagree with Arun. That's not independence. Independence is my ability to collaborate and help Arun understand that there is a merit in what I am saying. We can eventually agree to disagree, but it should not end up with a conflict where he does not listen to what I say. So when you are functioning as an independent person, as an auditor, financial statements, as a CXO, or as a board member, what is extremely important is, while staying independent, the ability to ensure that you are able to collaborate, the others are able to see merit in what you are saying, what you stand for, and not create instances of conflict. The third important C for independence is communication. The ability to articulate what you want to say, that's extremely important. There are occasions where silence is a communication. I am repeating, there are occasions and many occasions where silence is a communication. So communication does not necessarily mean you should speak for 15 minutes at the board table or an audit committee presentation. No. Silence on a topic is also communication. So communication is all about your ability to ensure that the other person is understanding what you intend to tell, exactly the way you intend to tell. Recall Contract Act. Contract Act, communication is complete only when, don't tell me it's foundation and that certificate is at home. Communication is complete when the other person has received it and has received it in exactly the same manner in which you have intended for. So for independence, it's not a people beat their chest and tell, I have never lied in my career. That is not integrity. Integrity is the ability to speak the truth. The integrity is when something is wrong, the courage to stand up and tell that this is wrong, supported by facts and carrying it with credibility. That's integrity. And integrity again, age of 30, 40, you can't read a 100-page book and build it. Age of 30, 40, you can't plant it inside your body or mind. It's something which has to come with you. It has come with you. You should get trained in that ethos for you to be having that integrity. The last point which I'd like to talk about is on information technology. Today, whether it's boards, companies, whatever arms, information technology is a very integral part of the organization. And that's why I called out specifically Tasneem doing her CISA and how it makes a difference, because I would like you all to have that awareness. Importance of information technology, how it transforms, all of you are aware. All of you are aware about artificial intelligence, the kind of disruption it brings and things like that. I just have two observations on this for you. Two very simple observations for all of you on this. Each of you here should have a full understanding of AI. I'm sure the institute's IT, whatever IT course, etc., is giving you that exposure. But what's important in AI is all of you should consume AI, not be consumed by AI. You should consume AI, but not be consumed by AI. Today, for example, all of us have this psyche where when you Google or search whatever comes on the screen, the tendency is to believe it as true, believe it is to be correct. But I come from a technology company, so almost 20 years plus running that organization, and I can tell you, all of you get served in your devices, exactly the same thing which will please you, exactly the same thing which you will be happy about, exactly the same outcome you will be excited with, because the device algorithms are such that they're consistently tracking your behavioral attributes, your own thinking attributes. So whatever gets delivered is exactly what will please you. that is not the truth. For example, I know you like a chocolate. I come to visit your home, I give you the chocolate. I know you like a particular flower. I come to your home, I give you exactly that. I apply my human intelligence for that, it pleases you. When it comes to your devices, all of us have got to a stage where we believe whatever is served on the device is correct. But what is served on the device is not the truth. Your ability to recognize that and to use AI and not to be used by AI is important. And here, the second observation I'd like you to make note of is that human intelligence at any point in time should be greater than the artificial intelligence, augmented intelligence. And you're all running an era where there is a risk where you will get consumed to such an extent that this human intelligence will keep shrinking because somebody else is going to control the way you think, the way you behave, the way you do things, because this gets surrendered consistently. Very deep sentence, but think through and take care. One small input for you to get over this. I'm sure all of you are extremely conscious of your fitness. All of you are conscious of your physical fitness, mental fitness, emotional fitness. You go to a gym, you practice some games, you play some sports, all of this you do. I'm sure all of you also do something for detox. I know some children are extremely conscious about their physical health. They take some detox programs, etc. One input I can give you to help you to consume technology but not get consumed by technology, and for ensuring your human intelligence is always greater than every other intelligence around you, is practice digital detox. For example, an event like this for 2 days is a great opportunity for you to have switched off your devices yesterday till evening and same thing today, and see whether you can have this functioning far better than this. Try that next session. It's not easy. If you can stay away from this, detox yourself so that you can keep this intelligence far ahead of all the other surrounding intelligence which is available. You have a great 40-50 years of career. But God forbid, you become victims of this external intelligence consuming you. I can only take comfort from the fact that I've cautioned you at a young age, but I'm sharing this out of all of the experience and working for a technology company. Please ensure that you are practicing digital detox. Try your best to find ways to stay away from all of the digital access which you have, including applying income tax, applying company law provisions. Easiest way is to use a Claude or a Copilot or a Google versus reading the book and other literature accessible and forming your judgment. It's important, and it is that which will help you to lead the world. So best wishes to all of you. Thank you, Gauri and the team, for the opportunity to be here today.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your gracious presence and valuable advices. Sir, we request you to announce the best speaker, sir.
Yeah, one of the reasons I actually don't accept this responsibility of chairing the student sections is the punishment of choosing the best speaker. It's such a